It's available on all major cable systems, or get it free on major streaming platforms. Watch Newsmax on smart TVs like Samsung, LG, Vizio, and more. Find Newsmax on your Hub Guide or use the TV app. Newsmax also streams free on Roku, Zumo, Pluto, Amazon Fire, TiVo, Apple TV, Chromecast, and more. More than 7 million people have downloaded the free Newsmax app on their smartphones. There's no paywall or subscription, so watch Newsmax anytime, anywhere. Forbes calls Newsmax a news powerhouse. And watch great shows with Mike Huckabee, Greg Kelly, Rob Schmidt, Diamond and Silk, Stinchfield, and a lot more. Find out why America is tuning in to Newsmax TV, the fastest growing cable news channel. It's a source you can trust. Newsmax is real news for real people.
It's time for Farm and Ranch headlines on the Southeast AgNet. I'm Tyron Spearman reporting. A new research study is pointing out that peanuts and peanut usage that helps deliver cognitive benefits and reduces stress in young adults. The University of Barcelona and the Peanut Institute said this new research is ideal for a good, healthy brain food is peanuts. They said the improvement of memory function and stress response after consuming peanuts and peanut butter seem to be related to your mental health. Even folks that are 55 and older, they said their scores are better when associated with about 10 grams of nuts a day, as well as a 40% decrease of likelihood of losing their thinking and cognitive function. So good news for peanut lovers. You need to be eating peanuts and peanut butter every day. It'll help your memory, help you live longer, and your mental health will be a whole lot better.
Bovine respiratory disease, or BRD, doesn't have to knock the wind out of your operation. The challenge is real, but so is Elanco's growing BRD portfolio. With Elanco, you can choose from multiple modes of action to help you and your herd breathe easier. For more than 40 years, Elanco has been committed to delivering flexible, future-looking solutions for BRD and other tough challenges. We're dedicated to ensuring our solutions always help you handle whatever you're up against. Our growing portfolio of products for the prevention, control, and treatment of BRD allows you to select the right solution to help keep your herd healthy and productive. It's right for cattle and right by you. Breathe easier. Ask your herd health veterinarian or sales rep about Elanco BRD Solutions. Elanco is a trademark of Elanco or its affiliates.
I'm Tyron Spearman for Southeast AgNet.
When it really counts, depend on the source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Today will be partly sunny with a thunderstorm around this afternoon and a high of 86 to 89, then clear to partly cloudy tonight, low 71 to 73. Wednesday will have sun and some clouds with a thunderstorm in spots in the afternoon. High tomorrow 87 to 90, then a pleasant day Thursday with partly sunny skies and a high of 87 to 89. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holdren.
Fine Arts of Ocala's 54th Art Festival is back. Mark your calendar for October 23rd to 24th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. 151 artists from around the country will compete for $27,000 in awards. Enjoy live music on 2 stages, chairs for relaxing, food trucks, children's activities presented by the Appleton Museum, and so much more. And it's all free. Admission, parking, children's art projects, and live entertainment. Fine Arts for Ocala, and a fun outing for the entire family. Don't miss out. Again, that's October 23rd to 24th from 10 to 5 each day. Presenting sponsor, Palm Chevrolet.
That's right. It's In the Garden with Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. She's here. She is every Tuesday taking your phone calls. 622-9622. That's 622-9622 is the number to call if you want to be involved in the program. If you have any questions about your garden, your plants, your flower beds, your grass, your trees, your bushes, anything outdoors that grows, Carol Ann Baldwin can probably help you with it. Carol Ann, good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
Good. So you were here for the last segment of the 8 o'clock hour, and you had a big smile on your face when I said, my neighbor got half an inch of rain. He literally lives 300 yards from me. I got nothing.
Yeah, that's Florida. And like you said, you could see the wall of rain in the
smell it.
Yeah,
I could see the road at the other end of the road with the steam coming off.
Yeah.
To quote David Lee Roth, I could see the road with the steam coming off.
But that's just. I mean, I've seen it at work. We've heard thunder and lightning. I've seen it. I'll say it was like 2 miles difference when my daughter was a child, and it's like I'd leave the house, and it's sunny, whatever. Get to the school to go pick her up, and it pours. Get home, had not rained a drop. Yeah. Straight line 2 mile. Yeah.
As a little kid, I remember we were on a country road in Clay County, near where my cousins were living, and we rode our bicycle right up to the wall of rain.
Yeah.
Literally, we would walk in and we'd get poured on. We'd walk out. And the wall of rain was right there.
Right there, yeah. Right.
And it never came to, we had to walk into the rain.
Right.
But we could walk into it.
Yes.
And then the wind blew and moved it away.
Blew it past. And that's it. I mean, you can, if you ever spend any time on a motorcycle or maybe bicycling, whatever, and you're going along and you go, you know what? It's raining over there. Why don't we go this way? We can go around it and come out of it.
Yes.
One time here in the Ocala area, drove right into a cold front.
Drove into the cold front. We're going down the road, and all of a sudden you could see it. Well, it was getting dark, so you couldn't really see it that much. Next thing you know, you hit a mist, just a fine mist in the air, and the temperature dropped about 20 degrees. Were you on a bicycle?
No, motorcycle.
So
going 55 miles an hour
it got cold quick.
To go from about 75 degrees down to 55 degrees. It was cold.
And rain.
And a light rain. That was uncomfortable.
Yeah,
but
it wasn't far.
But it wasn't far enough to stop and grab a jacket, so you just sort of hunkered in and kept going. But that's just our weather.
Yeah, it's just and we're not in the rainy season.
No, we're coming out of that rainy season. We're coming out of the rainy season, and it's hit or miss showers. Sometimes they're just a few drops. And your neighbor may get half an inch. I think, what was it? There were puddles out in the road and none at my house.
Right.
And so it's just that time of year.
Is this the time we start thinking about maybe once every other week with the cutting of the grass, or is it still?
Yeah. I mean,
because like my backyard, but my lawn guy came last week on Monday, and he cut the grass, but he couldn't get in the backyard because we had fence blocked and stuff.
Right.
So when he came this time, the backyard needed cutting.
Definitely needed cutting. Yeah.
Front yard wasn't so much.
Right.
Because he cut the front yard last week.
Right.
When he cut it, you could tell the difference.
Right.
But it wasn't that much of a difference like it was in the backyard.
Right, because he's mowing up at a proper height, so you're not taking that down way far where you're seeing different things. Yeah, you can smell the grass was mowed kind of thing.
Right. That's exactly.
We are, it hasn't for most people cooled it down enough to stop that growth. It's got another few weeks, another 4 to 6 weeks.
But it slowed it down.
It is slowing down. The rains have stopped. If you don't have irrigation, obviously it's not getting as much rain and it's not quite as hot. So that's going to slow the growth down. But it is time that if you have a system on, get it turned back on. It's not, I don't think we're hot enough to need to put it at twice a week.
Right.
Like we're allowed up until, we got 3 weeks until the clocks change again.
Yeah.
And you drop back down to once a week. But about once a week, once every 10 days is a good watering. You can let the lawn tell you, but this is a good time, if you've had it all turned off, is to turn it on and check your zones. Make sure that it is actually all working to where you're getting your good overlap. And it doesn't take you that long, and you are allowed to do that even if it's not your day.
How much like this morning I woke up and I went out with the dogs.
Yeah.
And I went barefoot out in the backyard with the dogs.
When I came out of the backyard, literally had to take a towel and dry
your feet up. Yeah, that dew
It was a heavy dew. When you drove by the pastures that I live at, it almost looked like frost because of how it glistened.
Yeah.
How much water does that actually add to a lawn?
I don't think it's really water to irrigation type thing, but it does help because some of it came from the grass, the temperature changes. It came up out of the ground. It's going back down. It does benefit, because the air's not dry.
Yeah, because it was a heavy dew. It
Right.
wasn't
So it'll be absorbed. It'll
Yeah.
be absorbed. It's it's one of those things that by the time the sun gets up, and I'll say by 10 or 11 o'clock this morning, that's all dry.
Right.
So it's it's not really
It has
irrigation,
some benefit, but not
it has
very
some
much.
right, it has some benefit, but not a lot.
And you say it's mostly because of moisture leaching out of the ground.
Yeah, it comes up. That the transpiration through plants and then the moisture from the air settling down on it. Actually, it's probably a little more detrimental in that it happens at night when the air's usually a little more still and things like that, and then we have our fungal issues.
Right.
In the lawns is that, when the sun comes up and it begins to dry it, that's actually better for the grass.
Woke up this morning, the temperature at my house was this morning when I went out to walk the dogs? 67 degrees.
Yeah.
No, I walked back in the house and go, why do I even have the air on?
Yeah.
It was hotter in my house at 72 than it was outside.
Yeah. The air's not on because it's
Right.
it's cooler outside than and that's the wonderful. I mean, right now somebody had and I'm not sure, I forget where they said they were from, but somebody who works within the same company I work for, but in another state, posted a picture of snow this morning blowing across, and I'm saying, yeah, that's why I live in Florida. It's mid-October. They're getting snow, and I heard of some big snowstorms. What was it? Utah just had that race, and they had to send out the snowmobiles to go
get them, right?
To go get people.
I lived in the higher elevations of the Smoky Mountains for 5.5 years, and it was nothing to get a dusting in October.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Right.
But it didn't stay around long because it was still warm enough.
The soil, the
soil was still,
and the sun was still,
The daytimes were, 61, 62, 63 degrees. Yeah. But at night it gets 37, 36 degrees.
Right,
and it could snow. People think it's got to be 32 degrees of snow. Oh. Snow's between about 29 degrees and 36 degrees, 35 degrees.
Right.
If it gets colder than 28, 29 degrees, it's very difficult to snow.
Right, because the moisture freezes before
it
freezes.
Right.
Then you get frozen rain. Yeah.
Right. So, but, we in where I lived in North Carolina, I lived at 6,100 feet.
Okay.
And we had, in that area, there was measurable amounts of snowfall every month of the year except July and August.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. That's why I moved back to Florida.
Yeah, that's too cold. Yeah. And actually one year we drove up the Blue Ridge Parkway and camped in Mount Mitchell.
Yep.
And
the highest point in
east of
the Smoky Mountain.
Yeah, east of Mississippi. And then we went up to the top, and there was snow. This was the 1st of June.
Yeah, but
there
Mount Mitchell's so high.
Yeah, that the snow was still there. It was about 32 degrees.
Right.
And it was cold for this girl had been from Florida.
I've been to Flagstaff, Arizona.
Oh, that one, the
in
temperature
April.
goes.
I've been to Flagstaff, Arizona in April when it was snowing so hard you had to pull over and wait for the snow to subside. In April.
Wow.
Because the snow was coming. But in Flagstaff, you're at almost 12,000 feet.
Right. You got your height, To...
I got a full ride scholarship offered to me from the University of Northern Arizona to play football. Yeah. I went to Flagstaff. I landed in Flagstaff to do a visit. Yeah. It snowed the whole weekend. It might have been the best facilities I ever saw as a recruit.
Right.
There was no chance in hell I was going to the University of Northern Arizona.
It was too cold. Too cold.
Not going to do it.
Not yet.
Wouldn't be prudent. Because... when you think of Arizona, you think of the arid desert and everything.
Right.
The 115 degrees in Tucson. But up in northern Arizona, Kingman, Flagstaff, all that area, The desert up there is cold.
Yes, and even that's one thing. We don't have those huge temperature shifts normally, except not like they do, where they'll be 112 degrees during the day and drop to 40 overnight.
You can go to Vegas. You can go to Vegas in December. I used to go every year, second week of December for the rodeo, National Rodeo Finals, and it'd be 60, 61 in the daytime, sun in the sky, nice. 28 at night.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing to hold the heat in.
Right. And that's just that climate where we have that subtropical climate that it's, we have that moisture in the air, does keep
Constantly.
that humidity, that constant humidity. And that's why even though we've been in the 80s throughout the last couple weeks, it's been pleasant because the humidity is down. I mean, we had a few hot ones where the humidity went back up. The fall. These first thing in the morning, the lower temperatures. It'll get you to sit out on the porch.
Have your tea
or coffee in the morning. I've even gotten home from work and grabbed an adult beverage to sit out on the porch to, just chill out at the end of the day.
A little too hot at night.
No, my porch, I got enough shade in my neighborhood.
We got two big old oak trees and everything.
7 o'clock, yeah.
But I get out of that back porch 6:30, 7 o'clock. It's still 75, 76 degrees.
Oh, no, see, that's fine to me because I work in the sun all day. So
my wife enjoys it, too. She loves sitting out there in the lanai. But she'll sit in the lanai in July.
Yeah.
She'll be out at 8:30 at night. It's 90 degrees outside. She'll sit on the lanai.
Doesn't matter.
I'm not doing it.
Some of us are outdoor people, but
not doing it. So Susan, this weekend, I'll tell you what she did this weekend and get your take on it. This weekend, she pulled up some dead bushes that weren't really working. She also pulled up a couple of live bushes.
Okay.
But she did it to take this area that used to be a flower bed, bushes area.
Okay.
That's probably 20 foot long by about 4 or 5 foot wide. The house is one barrier, and then there's a brick ledge that creates the barrier.
Right.
She pulled everything out. She then took a shovel and turned over about 2 or 3, 4 inches of dirt all along there and everything. Took a potato rake, raked it all out, evened it out and everything. Left the weeds and the grass and everything that was on the topsoil in the soil and everything.
Okay.
She's put the black paper down. And now she's getting ready to cover that because she wants to let it percolate, she says, for some time to go ahead and get the dirt ready, get the weeds taken care of. Is she in a good shape? Is she doing she's going in the right direction?
She wants to be able to plant this.
She wants to make it her garden area.
Okay. So
she's going to plant vegetables and everything.
Okay. Yeah. So she's just trying to kill off the weeds and stuff like that naturally, let it cook down. She going to pull that weed fabric out later, or is she going to add more?
I think she's waiting to hear from Carol Ann Baldwin.
Okay, I mean, if it's deep enough, she could leave that weed barrier down there.
Right now, the weed barrier is just on top of the dirt. So
right on.
Right.
Okay,
and it's very rich black dirt soil there.
Good.
So I don't think she's got any plans to add any more dirt to it.
Okay. Then I would just once she feels like she's set with that, I mean, it's just, you can cut the X's in it, fold that back down in there, and plant your starters right in. You're not going to go from seed usually in something like that. She's going to start. Yeah.
She's going to get starter plants.
Right. And
she likes starter plants because you can just put them in the ground and they
Right. Now, so she didn't add any cow manure, extra compost, or anything to it? I probably would, just because those plants were in there probably for several years. Even if they got fertilized, they probably took quite a bit out of there. And in order to get a good start, and I would dump it on top and just sort of rake it a little bit, to even it out.
You mean under the black paper, though?
Under the black paper, yeah. Because if that black paper's up closer towards the top, there's not enough room to get, say, 6 inches underneath it.
There is not.
Right.
Unless she dug it out.
Right.
There would not be enough to put 6 inches of dirt
so
on top.
I would just lift that up.
Unless
and
she makes me build
a higher,
3 or 4 boards high to create like a planter box.
Right. No, I mean, she doesn't need to do that. I would just lift the landscape fabric off of there, get a few bags, or if you had a pickup truck, whatever, a load of compost and manure and that, and just put in there, you can do the math. Most of those bags are, between 1 and 2 cubic feet. So you can figure if you want to put, say, 2 inches down through, I know I could probably break out the calculator and figure out the equation there. How many sheep
Probably
need.
It's about 20 by 4.
Okay.
So 80 feet.
So about 80
square feet.
Yeah, 80 square feet.
So
How would I do that? Let's see.
And because that's where she wants to put cucumbers and lettuce and
and
beans
that kind of stuff.
and
Right.
And now she's wondering, tomatoes, does she need cages? And she's looking to buy tomato cages.
Yeah,
You're gonna need it.
cages
We live right
are
next.
easier.
I mean,
Yeah.
did you see her Facebook post? Our visitor we had 2 days ago.
Oh yes, the bear and the
And this was not everybody said, "Oh, it looks like a cub." No, when this bear stood up at the 6-foot chain link fence that the county puts up in the retention pond, his head was at the top of that 6-foot fence. That's not a cub. But he was very malnutritioned. He was a very skinny bear.
Well, I mean, he still may have been a juvenile.
He was tall and lanky.
He might have been a teenager.
But
Florida bears aren't massive.
But that
anyway.
the basset hound, right there at the fence, giving him the business.
Telling him
the other dogs are halfway out, going, "Hey, if you need us, we'll come." But we're right over.
Yeah.
The basset hound was giving him the business, and then I went out there, of course, running at him and screaming at him.
Right.
So he took off.
He's gonna run.
And Susan is paranoid he's coming back, and I go, no. He saw a bigger bear than him. He's not coming. He probably won't come back to this area.
And actually, I just make sure your trash is put up. Make sure there's different things.
And we keep it in the garage and everything.
Yeah. So just that, just kind of common sense on that, not leaving pet food and stuff out. But no, on a bed her size, about 80 square feet, I would probably
6-8 bags.
Possibly closer to 10.
10 bags. Okay.
Yeah, 8 to 10 bags.
And it costs $4 a bag, something like that.
So. Yeah.
Talking less than $50.
Right. And just, you could start out with 8, see if it goes, and go, okay, I don't need the other 2. Just sort of rake it out in there. You could spade it over a little bit. Don't work too hard. I'm a lazy gardener. If I could just dump it in.
You could mix it in if you needed to, but the potato rake will probably mix it in pretty good.
It will be just as good. Right. It's just as good to do that. And
or a yard rake, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, your iron rake, whatever you got.
Potato rake's what I call it. But
if you've got I like the hula hoe, goes by hula hoe, shuffle hoe, action hoe. It's one that cuts going forward and back, and it looks like a stirrup. That's another name, stirrup hoe.
Right.
Even that, something like that would be enough to blend it within that top, because you're improving where that root zone's going to be. Now, I did on the Facebook group page, I did post a planting chart for our area. Let's see if it'll come back up here. Yeah. And we're October, almost November. So you're looking at that cusp on things like that. I probably would leave the tomatoes till spring, just because I don't think you're going to get that 72 days from transplant to fruiting without cold weather either stunting the plant or preventing them from fruiting.
I got a text message from Bob. He wants to know, for some reason, my Myers lemon tree has died. I fertilized it all the times I was supposed to. I was very good with this tree. It's lasted for a very long time. Now it's just all of a sudden dead. Is there a citrus kill issue that you're aware of in our area?
Well, greening will kill the tree. Citrus greening will kill the tree. But
what is citrus greening?
Citrus greening has a great big name. It's the virus that's knocking at the citrus industry. And I got a frog going, so.
But it's something that's well known in the citrus industry.
It is well known in the citrus industry. They're working very hard to try to find a remedy, a control. There's a small insect.
It'll strike one tree like that?
It will take out. But it's gone through groves. Is
it an insect thing that's carried by insects?
It is vectored by the Asian citrus psyllid. Usually you get some kind of symptomatic within it that the leaves
turn a bright green.
Actually, they can turn bright. They'll turn yellow, which I don't want you to freak out. Yours should not have that issue. The fruit becomes inedible. It's not just misshapen, but it's misshapen is a symptom. When you go to taste it, it tastes horrible.
So that's where, unlike canker didn't really destroy the quality of the edible part of the fruit. It destroyed the marketability of it. The greening actually destroys the edibility of the fruit and will kill the tree. Nowadays, if you get 10 or 15 years out of a harvest time out of a citrus tree, you're doing very good. It used to be 30 to 35 years that you could get, have a nice healthy tree. So it could also just be that tree has hit an age point, but usually it doesn't just kill them within age doesn't kill them within just a short while. But if the tree was thinning over the last couple years and less fruit production and things like that, I'd be concerned that it was either just old age or possibly greening if the fruit quality was declining and things like that. But I'm trying to think of what else it could be if it was just, if the tree wasn't excessively older, did something get up underneath it? Did something tunnel underneath, a possum or armadillo or fox, bunny, somebody get up underneath that trunk and now cause an issue, get air up underneath there? Did something else happen? Was anybody spraying things like weed control or, in this area over the last, I'd almost say couple years, because just a touch of Roundup isn't going to kill a tree. But if it's used frequently or weed controls for lawns used too close to the canopy.
It was a young tree, and it took less than 45 days for it to die.
Wow.
Yeah, so it wasn't one of his older trees.
Okay.
It was a younger tree, and it took less than 45 days for it to die.
Ooh.
That sounds like bad soil, maybe.
Or something getting up underneath there and those roots drying out. Or, again, an herbicide.
Reach out to Carol Ann Baldwin on the Facebook page and give her some more information. Start a conversation with her, Bob, and it's in the garden on the Facebook page.
On the Facebook group page, just ask to join. I'll keep an eye out and look for you.
But Bob's one of my good buddies. He's been a loyal follower on trivia and everything. He listens to the show. And he's quite the musician, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Quite the accomplished musician.
Okay.
And nice. He has a daughter who's very accomplished. She works for the county. His wife is probably the best golfer in the family. Not probably, she is.
She is.
She's a better golfer than me.
There you go.
That's all I'm saying. So 622-9622 is the number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation. Yes, I know people are texting my personal cell phone. That's not for everybody.
Right. and the In the Garden group page, though, is. So if you have a question, I do bring it up,
She monitors it during the show.
I do even refresh it and that to make sure that it's, we're getting, if somebody does have a question. And we do have some people following the group page that are out of state. So I do put in, when I put in the reminder of the radio stations, I need to hook up with the in order to get the YouTube on there.
WOCA?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people that live out of state that move here as snowbirds want to know what they need to do and all for their stuff. Coming up next, more with Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin right here on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. This is WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
At least 2 souls have died after a small airplane crash in a residential neighborhood in Southern California east of San Diego. The plane, owned and piloted by a local cardiologist, Dr. Sugata Das, who reportedly lived in San Diego but flew back and forth from his work at Yuma Regional Medical Center in Arizona. The plane crashed into a UPS truck near Santana High School in Santee on Monday afternoon. A Wyoming coroner will give an official update on Gabby Petito's